Hello, my name is Amarjot Singh. I'm going to talk to you today briefly about entrepreneur immigration in Canada. Many people ask me if they have money, can they take this money to Canada, invest and buy a business or create a new business and get for immigration, the PR for the family. Briefly, there's no federal entrepreneur system at present. Most of the immigration systems are provincial based. They are PNP based through the province criteria. We are going to today look as a sample, look at British Columbia, the Vancouver area, and take a look at the requirements, and you'll get a glimpse of what is possibly the similar requirements in other provinces also. But this is a long document. This has about 83 pages, but I'm going to skip through the main points so that you get an idea, and then later on you can talk to me in detail about them. See on the screen, Entrepreneur Immigration Program Guide. So this is British Columbia, and let me just scroll down. I'll show you the relevant things about what you want to see. British Columbia right there. Entrepreneur immigration. We are looking at. Let's jump to page relevant. I've highlighted some pages for you, so show you the key aspects here. Take a look at. Here it is. The first requirement is you have to be having a certain amount of money with you. Personal net worth. In order to register, you must have at least a minimum of $600,000 in personal net worth. So minimum 600,000 Canadian dollars in personal net worth. What is personal net worth? If you have cash, your assets in bank account, FD, real property, bonds, stocks, mutual funds, investment, or investment in one or more businesses, pension and other assets. If you do not have a minimum of $600,000, there's no point of even starting the application. It will be rejected. So this is one of the basic requirements, that you need to have $600,000. Now remember, other provinces have lower, so I'm just looking at the benchmark of 600,000 at the least for British Columbia, because BC is an expensive area than other provinces comparatively. But here we need $600,000. Take a look at the net worth. How do we calculate the net worth? We look at other things like we already talked about current assets, bank deposits, liquid investments, other liquid assets. No diamonds, no cars, and other things. Some people have asked me, what about jewelry? No, jewelry is not counted. So you must have real estate and real property, commercial property, as you see, business ownership, pension funds, and those things. The liabilities, if you have some loans and other mortgage or something, those have to be deducted. So it's net. That means assets minus liability. So if you have mortgage or personal loans or credit card debt and other things, these have to be deducted from the whole thing. So just wanted to be aware that this is what we need. Let's take a look at something else here. After we have the net worth requirement done, how much money do we have to invest at the least? So on the screen it's very clear. You must invest at least $200,000, which is close to about 1 crore plus in Indian currency. So this is the minimum we are talking about. Remember, this is Vancouver, this is BC, this is expensive part of Canada. A lot of other investors coming from Asia, China, and other places, they are bringing in much more than this. I mean, they are bringing in million, 1 million, 2 million and up. So the minimum benchmark what you are looking at is investment of at least $200,000 and a net worth of at least $600,000. All right. So this is what you must remember. Let's take a look at something that I will show to you. Something else, that all these net worth has to be, of course, verified from the Canadian sources, not from their home sources. You must also have, besides the money, besides the investable surplus, you must also have experience in your country as a business owner or a manager for more than 3 years. All right. So if you don't have at least 3 years of experience, you are not eligible. So just wanted to be clear. Some people tell me that they have the money but they have no experience. They have been given money by their parents or inheritance or something, but they have no experience. So in that case they cannot qualify. So you need not only money, not only investable services, but also experience as a active business owner. All right, let's take a look at something else that I want to show you is you also need to have some kind of education. You cannot apply without with zero education. You need minimum any diploma or certificate or something after grade 12. So post-secondary credential, as you see on the screen, that is what minimum you need, because you otherwise you'll not make the points on the points grade unless you're bringing in tens of millions of dollars, which I don't think is the case. But minimum education or post-secondary credential, as you see on the screen, is required. All right. What other things are required? More than the money and experience, you also have to have a business plan, a business concept, that what are you investing in, what do you want to create industry in, you know, how will the business run, and so forth. I mean, there are detailed requirements of the business requirements that we will see later on. If you want to talk to me, you know, separately, we can talk about this. But with money and experience, you need to show what is the business that you are investing, how does the business concept relate to your experience and the amount of money that you're bringing in, and how will it actually benefit Canada, the British Columbia, in per se. So this is a part of the business plan. All right. More than the business plan itself, one of the more important components is that you are creating jobs in British Columbia. The minimum job creation requirements, as highlighted on the screen, it mandates that you must create at least one permanent new full-time equivalent job for a Canadian citizen and permanent resident. So it is impossible to think about that if you are investing and you are, you know, you are creating some kind of business, that, you know, you will not create one job at the least. The more jobs you create, the more highly skilled job you create, the more points you get. So this is one of the other requirements that you must you know, you must understand that this is a part of the deal. Let's take a look at something else that I want to show you here. This is the process in brief. This is called the entrepreneur immigration process. So the first is registration. You register, you put in all the information and nice information. If they find that they are you know, more towards the requirements of BC, then they give you invitation. And the third is then you actually make the formal application. If the application is granted, you are eligible for, application is granted, then you get the nomination. It leads to initial work permit, and lastly you are in queue for permanent residence. The whole process can take about two years plus, or maybe even more, 3 years sometimes, depending on a lot of invariables here. So that is briefly the immigration process. Let me show you something else that I want to show you. One of the important part of this whole process is actually going to BC, going to different places in the province to actually select where you want to invest, what you want to invest, do some preparation about it. So this is called an exploratory visit. What you have to do in this visit is, as you see on the screen, during the visit you can investigate and evaluate potential business opportunities, conduct market research, make local business contacts, learn more about what is about like living and doing business in BC, gain a better understanding of our healthcare, education system, housing, culture, and other things. So exploratory visa is the central part of this application. If you do not have a visit visa to actually go to BC, then you will not be able to do all this research. You have to rely on somebody else, and eventually once your application, the profile assessment is accepted, then they can issue you a letter that you can use to apply for a tourist visa or business visa to actually go there. It is not a guarantee that you'll get the visa, but it may help you. If you don't get the visa, then you can't go. Then I think it will seriously hamper your application, because you don't have personal research done by, and you don't, you know, not much about what is the business climate in BC. So I think exploratory visit is I consider is the main part of the application. So it will teach you a lot. Let me show you some other things that I want to show you, and let's see what do you want. Okay, so there are points for everything, and you know what I've highlighted here is key sector points. I mean, there are some key sectors which are important to BC, and let me show you what those sectors are. As you see in this, sometimes people will ask me, where do I invest, what kind of business can I start, and I tell them, look, you have to select a business based on your experience first, and then actually go to BC and then check out and then see if that business climate or business opportunity or market potential of that business is actually something that you can contribute something. But there are some sectors in BC that the government has highlighted, and they have publicly announced that these are the sectors that they think they are priority for them. Let's look at them. Agri foods, food production and food processing. Food production means actually growing something, growing anything that you would like to grow if you have some farm experience. Food processing, let's say if you are making if you're growing some kind of some fruit that can be processed into some packaged food, that's food processing. Any technology in green economy, forestry, there's a lot of forest in BC, of course, forest green area. Transportation business, international education business, setting up an accredited education institute that offer educational programs in BC to foreign students. That's a key sector. If you are in the college or education business in a country, that might be something of interest to them. Biomedical, mining, energy, destination tourism, value-added manufacturing, Aboriginal people and First Nation, something to do with them. So these are the important sectors. Other economic benefits that they look at in your proposal is if you are bringing in some kind of new technology or developing new products, or you're developing some kind of innovative approach to a existing traditional business, you are generating exports or R&D, or providing services to underserved local or regional market. You're transferring technology and specialized knowledge pieces. So these are key sectors by which they assess your plan, and they give you points and weightage. So those are very important things. Those are the key summary. And remember, if you want to talk to me separately, it probably is likely is a 1 or 2 hour discussion customized to your requirement. But I just wanted to give you some main bullet points for you to think before you actually approach me for a full session. All right, so let me just show you what is the fees for all this. Is $3,500 is the non-refundable processing fees that goes with when they actually invite you to make the PNP application. That's the fees that has to be paid. After the fees is paid and the assessment is done, and sometimes they will call you for an interview, and sometimes not, but occasionally will. So if requested by the BC PNP, you will be required to attend an in-person interview at the BC PNP office in Vancouver. You have to travel to Vancouver and then take this interview. Those are briefly the requirements. Let me show you just one last thing, and then you can ask me question, or you can write your comments and share. What I told you earlier was exploratory visa is one of the key requirements of this application. Another important requirement of this investment application is the business plan. The business plan, as I said earlier, was that you have to show that with your money and experience you will be able to benefit the province of BC. If you are not able to show that you can, I think you have weak chance of getting your application approved. What is in your business plan? You have to you can stop this video now and then read this slowly. Describe the business model, identify the factors, analyze the potential of viability, describe how you're qualified, explain how you came to consider this business opportunity, and other things. So you can buy an existing business, and you have to even explain further, why did you buy this business and how will you improve them and stuff. So the business plan is the main thing. And sometimes clients will ask the immigration lawyers and consultants, can you make me a business plan? I tell them no, I will not make a business plan, but I can guide you how to make one. Alternatively, you must contact a business plan consultant, that there are many in the market, and once you have identified what your plan is, then they can help you sharpen the plan and make it professional so that we can submit it. So that's pretty much it. If you want to ask me some questions, please write your comments, or you can, if you are looking to invest and if you have some plan, you can send me a separate email, and then I'll talk to you separately, or on a like a 1 hour or 2 hour session. Sometimes I visit clients, and the discussion goes on for hours, like 4 hours, 5 hours, and people are surprised there's so much of information to uncover in this assessment. Everything is a point system, so based on if you have great experience, then you get more points. If you're creating additional high skill jobs, you get additional points. If you're bringing in too much money, like not only just 200,000, some people are bringing in 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. I've seen plans where people are bringing in $10 million for investment. Maybe they're buying a 5-star hotel or something. So alternatively, you can look at those options and see where you stand. But minimum, let me just repeat, minimum $200,000 as investment and minimum $600,000 as net worth. If you don't have it, then you don't stand any chance. You can't even apply. Forget about the chance. You can't apply. So, all right. So this is what I had to say about the entrepreneur program. Not the investor. The investor is a different term. Entrepreneur program for British Columbia, and you can go to Google and type British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program Entrepreneur, and possibly you can see this document. It's a 83 page document. All right. Thank you very much. Leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and share with other people. And if you need detailed assessment with me, and I can talk to you separately. All right. Thank you.